Pittsburgh, 1965. Scientists are opening a grave that has been sealed for 33 years. The coffin inside is lined with lead, and as their instruments lower toward the skeleton, the needles begin to climb. The bones are radioactive. 250,000 atomic decays every second, and they will keep firing for centuries. Nobody poisoned this man. He bought this, $1 a bottle. His name was Eben Byers, steel millionaire, national golf champion, one of the most envied men in America. This is the story of the water that put him in a lead coffin, on his doctor's advice. Rewind to 1927. Byers, very much alive, falls from the sleeping berth of an overnight train and hurts his arm. The pain will not leave. His physician suggests something modern, something scientific. Radithor, certified radioactive water. Byers tries a bottle, and here is the cruel part. It works. He feels warm, strong, toned up, he tells friends. Soon he is drinking 3 bottles a day. Why would radioactive water sound like medicine? Go back to the turn of the century. Marie and Pierre Curie pull a glowing new element out of black ore. Doctors use it to burn away tumors. Newspapers call it liquid sunshine. Because radium is science, and science sells. Soon there is radium face cream, radium toothpaste, radium hair tonic, and a ceramic crock, the Radithor, that promises to make ordinary tap water radioactive overnight. It delivers. The logic of the age, Europe's healing springs turn out to be naturally radioactive. So radioactivity must be the thing that heals. In the 1920s, radiation is not the sound of danger. It is the sound of the future. Enter William Bailey, Harvard dropout, 3 semesters, then the money ran out. He calls himself Dr. Bailey on the strength of a Vienna medical degree that does not exist. And he is about to bottle the future. Radithor is Bailey's masterpiece. Half an ounce of distilled water laced with genuine radium, $1 per bottle. The label promises new energy for dozens of ailments, from anemia to failing vigor. And Bailey is not hiding. He publishes a standing offer, $1,000 to anyone who can prove a bottle holds less radium than the label claims. Nobody ever collects. And the business booms, 400,000 bottles at enormous margins. Physicians who prescribe it receive a share of every sale, which brings us back to Eben Byers. By 1928, Byers is a believer, but radium enters the body in disguise. Chemically, it resembles calcium, the mineral bones are built from. So his skeleton does something catastrophic. It takes the radium in and stores it. The radium lodged in his bones begins to decay. Its alpha particles cannot travel far, which is exactly the problem. They dump their energy into the cells beside them. Bone, marrow, blood, and they keep firing, for decades. Byers does not just drink Radithor, he preaches it. He ships cases to friends and business partners. He doses his own racehorses. In 3 years, he swallows roughly 1,400 bottles. Then, late in 1930, the warmth stops. There had been a warning. In New Jersey, dial painters were dying, young women with crumbling jaws and shattering bones, who swallowed radium from brushes shaped between their lips. But they were factory girls. Byers was a gentleman, taking his medicine. Now the medicine turns. Byers loses weight. Headaches split his skull. His teeth begin to fall out. The same marrow the radium once reached is now being burned away from inside the bones themselves. By 1931, federal trade investigators are circling Radithor's advertising, and they want Byers to testify. He cannot. He is too sick to travel. So the commission sends a lawyer to his home to take the statement in person. The lawyer's report survives. Byers' upper jaw had been removed except for 2 front teeth. Most of the lower jaw was gone. The remaining bone tissue of his body was disintegrating, and holes were opening in his skull. Through all of it, he remained lucid, a clear mind, keeping its accounts inside a failing body. Eben Byers died on March 31, 1932, at 51 years old. Cause of death: radium poisoning. The factory girls had sounded the warning. The death of one millionaire made the country listen. Front pages, coast to coast. Sales of radium medicine collapsed almost overnight. Surely, now, someone was going to prison. Nobody went to prison. The old law did not require a medicine to be proven safe before sale, only that the label told the truth. And Radithor was exactly what its label promised: radioactive water. The poison was the honest part. William Bailey never faced a criminal trial over Radithor. His defense, to reporters: "I have drunk more radium water than any man alive, and I never have suffered any ill effects." He died in 1949 of bladder cancer. You may have heard this story under one famous headline. The radium water worked fine until his jaw came off. That headline is real, but it ran in the Wall Street Journal in 1990, 58 years after his death. Byers' death exposed the old law's weakness. 6 years later, after another drug disaster forced the issue, Congress finally required proof that a medicine is safe before it can be sold. Back to that grave. In 1965, a radiation scientist measured the radium still locked in Byers' bones. His model predicted 100,000 decays per second. He found more than double, suggesting Byers drank even more than the record shows. The bones went back into their lead box, still firing. Surviving bottles of Radithor sit in museum collections today, still radioactive, a century on. Radium's half-life is 1,600 years. And in Montana, people still pay to sit in radon-filled mines, hoping to be healed. The promise never left, it only changed names. So, would you have drunk the future in 1927? Next time, the machine that lets shoe stores X-ray children's feet. For fun.